Hey, what's up, After Buzzers? We're talking Mayans M.C., Season 1, Episode 9, Serpentin, Chicon, Angel is Easy, is his brother's keeper. The Mayans go from the loading dock to the boardroom, and M goes full cartel wife. Whoa, so much story. We'll be back in just a sec.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Oh, I like it, yeah. That is Little Candy Heart by Sonic Graffiti.
It's a good song.
Yeah, that was playing while Angel tells Coco and Gilly about the abandoned rebel camp and all that. What's up, guys? Hey, this is Jorge Payo here, talking Mayans. Season 1, Episode 9, reunited with Linda Antwi.
Yes, I'm back. Woohoo.
Yeah, what's up?
Guys. No, you missed me.
I did. And we got a special guest for you guys today. Very special. Nestor himself, Gino Vento. What's up, Gino?
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
All right, welcome to the show, man. It's good to have you, brother.
Yeah, I'm excited.
It's good to have like a real sicario in our presence.
Ten cuidado.
Ten cuidado, indeed, right? So why don't we just, we got a lot of show going on here. We got our most gruesome death corner. We've got some news and features to talk about later. We're gonna dig a little bit deeper into Gino later on in the show. But let's talk about this episode right now. Overall thoughts, Linda.
I thought it was a great episode. I think that things are really tying together, and obviously we're in episode 9 now, so it's all really making sense. And I just love seeing everything finally come together. It was a good episode. Mm-hmm. And that gruesome death wasn't bad.
Wasn't bad.
We've had a few more gruesome ones in earlier episodes, but this one wasn't bad. And it was meaningful.
This one was pretty well deserved.
It hit home.
Well, which death are you talking about?
Both, really. We'll get to those. But both, really. I think they were both very well deserved.
Yeah.
Gino, how about yourself? Overall thoughts? You were.
I loved it.
This episode?
I loved it. You know what I always love about Mayans and Sons of Anarchy is the montages at the end.
Oh yeah,
I love those.
Mm-hmm.
Do you get to see the episodes before the air, or is this like your first time seeing this episode fully? Fully in the can and everything.
This was my first time seeing this one.
Mm-hmm.
I saw the pilot at the premiere, and you know what? I usually just watch it like on TV when it airs.
Right on.
Yeah.
Right on. For me, great episode all around. I love seeing these scenes between Easy and Angel. The brothers come together. Mm-hmm. Finally getting to see a really strong scene between Angel and Felipe.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I thought that scene was just beautiful. Well acted. And then watching the progression and the growth of some of the other characters, like M, and where she started and where she is now.
She is right now, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Everybody, the entire club started one place and is somewhere else right now.
Yep.
So why don't we get right into it? The show begins with picking up from where we were last week. The two brothers were caught with Coco's mom in the trunk of the car.
So amateur, that move, though.
Oh, my gosh.
It made me angry. Well, because that's what you get caught on. You get caught with the body actually in the trunk because you have a busted taillight.
Well, yeah. I mean, the minute that I saw the busted taillight happen, I talked about this last AfterBuzz show, but the minute that I saw her head hit that taillight and the taillight bust, I was like, yeah, they're getting pulled over.
That's right.
DWB. Getting pulled over, you gotta, So I knew that was gonna happen. But it picks up, so we're back in, the two boys are in the jail cell. We've got Frank, the deputy, telling them, what do you want me to do, guys?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, the Department of Homeland Security shows up to bust them out, and Potter. Yeah, the Aztec Mayan. What are your guys' thoughts on Potter?
Yeah, what is your thought on Potter?
Yeah.
Well, he locked us up,
Mm-hmm.
at that one episode, episode 7, when he showed up at the house.
Right.
So Nestor has beef with him.
Mm-hmm.
Gino, I love Ray as an actor. He's he's a beast.
Oh, yeah.
And what I felt for him when watching Sons has transitioned over to what I feel for him now watching Mayans, where he's he's just so good.
He's
at
a
what he
character
does.
you love to hate.
Oh man,
Which
he's so
means
good.
he's an amazing
Yeah,
actor, right?
yeah.
Because that venom you have towards his character just shows how amazing he has to be as an actor.
He's a fantastic antagonist. He comes on and he steals just about every scene that he's in.
Yeah.
Right? But his Spanish is like nails on a chalkboard, but that's a whole nother story.
But I love his character's confidence in speaking Spanish.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, it's cool.
Yeah, it's fantastic, and it just makes me cringe every time he comes on, and he's twisting the knife on the two brothers now. What'd you think about his reveal to Angel about Easy being a rat?
Dude, that was a dick move. I mean,
Right.
it was a dick move.
Yeah, straight up.
Yeah, he's a mastermind.
He's
Evil genius.
evil genius indeed. You know, the way that he just twists and turns and keeps and the look on Angel's face when he finds out.
Pissed.
Such anger and disappointment.
Well, can you imagine? He feels betrayed.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. He feels betrayed by his brother. And, he brought his brother in to the MC, and he's just finding out while in prison for a dead body that your brother also betrayed you. So it's
Man,
a tough
that's,
situation to be in.
like, how would you feel in that situation if this was all right? Put yourself in these given circumstances for a second.
I think at the end of the day, though, family's family.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter, right? That's your family.
Yeah,
Yeah, which is what we learned at the towards the end of the episode. We see that.
I think we saw even a glimpse of that in the when he took him out to the desert.
Yeah.
and he punched and he knocked him out. Right, he beat the hell out of him, and with good reason. But the minute that rattlesnake was going to go for him, he stepped on it
Yeah.
without
And-
question.
And Easy also just laying down and taking those hits
Oh yeah,
because he knows what he did.
yeah.
So
And there was no way.
Almost, it's like Easy wanted to be punished.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Where he felt like this was right for him to get his ass whipped.
Yeah. Like it was well deserved and whatnot. I think, but Potter and the whole way that he's twisting these guys later on, and we'll talk about this in a minute. But the whole Jimenez thing, and then so that goes after Angel beats up Easy and leaves him in the desert to walk 500 miles on his own.
That was a lot.
That was a long
He
walk.
didn't even break a sweat, though.
I was like, bro, you don't you need some water?
He works out. He's in shape. You know?
Okay. I mean, is that a prison workout? Is that? I mean, I don't.
It's a lot of burpees.
There's a lot of burpees going on there. Jeez. But then we go to a little flashback to 8 years ago when we get a little bit more insight as to what was going on in the mind of Easy back in the day, 8 years ago, with his CGI'd mustache off.
Oh, you just can't let that go.
I cannot let it go. It was too obvious.
That's funny.
But what did you think about that scene there?
About his brother and Coco.
Yeah, about their whole reveal and everything.
I mean, I think it was I think that scene helped put everything in perspective for me.
How so?
I just think that there were a lot of parts that I was putting together in my mind, and to see that this was 8 years ago and Coco and Angel were already part of the MC, and then Easy coming into it after getting out of prison and thinking he needed protection and all of that, was put together for me.
What about the whole thing about his brother getting a gun for him?
I think that's part of the guilt that Angel carries in this episode.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, that's a good point. Because how are you going to give a gun to somebody and expect them not to do something with it? Mm-hmm. Especially after the speech he just gave you about, about the Wildcats and going to, what was it? El Centro High School?
Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, he's going to go looking for the guy.
Yeah.
He's going to keep an eye on
I think a lot of Angel's guilt is carried in this episode, which we see when he talks to his dad and all that,
Oh, yeah, his
And a bit
breakdowns
of
are funny.
abandonment, it almost felt like, between him and his father, like he wasn't the chosen son.
Yeah.
Even though he was the first son.
Yeah, that happens sometimes in families. I mean, he sees Easy's trophies and he feels sort of like not enough.
Lesser.
He feels less than. But yet, it's still sangre. Either way you cut it, it's still sangre. That was a heartbreaking scene between him and Edward James almost.
Yeah.
A wonderful scene. It was almost like a master class in acting too, that scene.
Yeah, it was sick.
That's pretty sweet.
Yep.
But his whole demeanor afterwards and trying to figure out what to do next, and then when he figured, and then that whole speech about dissent, right? Dissent being
when he
opposing points of view, a rebellion. That's when it all triggered, and he connected that to Potter.
Yeah.
That was a really nice moment too. It shows that Angel's pretty smart, also.
Yeah. He is.
Yeah.
He's a smart dude.
Yeah. Absolutely. Any other thoughts on that section, you guys?
I just love that scene with Angel and the dad and Felipe. It was great, and that's also where it takes you really feel Angel's guilt, all over that. He's looking at the trophies like, I guess I wasn't good enough. But on the flip side, I think Angel's doing a good job at being a big brother.
Yeah.
That's his role, and he plays it well.
Yeah. No matter how much his brother angers him, he's going to take care of him.
Yeah.
And they all take care of each other almost, though, at that point, with Felipe always taking care of his sons, and even Easy looking out for his family and having that clause with the DEA saying you can't touch Angel or the MC. I just thought in that scene you saw him almost more as like a vulnerable person rather than just the badass biker.
Right.
And then you also saw the dynamics of their family, which we've had a few glimpses in previous episodes, but we haven't seen that dynamic. And I don't think Felipe's character really realized how Angel felt about his role in the family.
Do you think when Felipe told Angel that that it was a life that he chose and he never judged him for it, do you think he believed him? Do you think that'll carry over and that he believed what he said, that he wasn't being judged?
I think so, because he also chose a very similar life. He chose to get out, but he chose a similar life. So I think he did actually mean what he said, and I think that Angel believed him.
Yeah, I think he meant it.
Yep.
Yeah. I think he meant it as well. I was just wondering whether or not Angel would come back later and still have these, these hurt feelings of being the lesser brother.
Well, I think that that's something that's in him. I don't think that just the one conversation has healed that hurt or that guilt. I think that it's opened the door, but it's still there in him, right?
Right. Well, let's hope that it hasn't fallen on deaf ears is all I'm saying. Let's hope that it does bring Felipe, because Felipe and Angel haven't been close this entire season.
No.
And I was wondering what else that might be about. Is it just about this, or is it about other things as well?
I mean,
And more to be revealed.
What do you
I feel
think?
like Nestor knows things, and he's like,
He's smiling
he just gives
really
that
hard,
smile.
yes.
It's like, that's always a tough part. What can you tell us?
No, I do agree. I think Felipe and Angel haven't been very close this season, but I think that's also, the street goes both ways. Like Angel's not coming around really to check up on his pops, and Felipe's not really checking up on him, and it's because he even says it in this episode. His main focus has always been Easy, the golden boy.
Right.
And Angel's just kind of, he grew up to be a man pretty quick. And like, all right, you're good.
Yeah, the life that Easy was supposed to have, that was the whole purpose of Felipe getting Easy out of prison and making the deal with the DEA so that he could have the life that he was supposed to have. But, I mean, can he still? No, I think he's way too immersed into the MC at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting that his brother wants him to leave the MC after all this is said and done. Just walk away, because I don't think he's going to be able to do that.
And that's him, again, playing the role of a big brother looking out for him, being his brother's keeper.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, this isn't the life for you. I think that's still Felipe's voice echoing in his mind. This isn't the life you're supposed to have. Go on and live another kind of life. Yeah. It's the two brothers together. It's heartwarming and it's dangerous at the same time.
Yeah.
Anyway, how about the Mayans now? Let's talk about these guys, the deals that are being made in the boardroom and the casino. Mayans.
I mean, this is a big episode for them, right? So
Yeah.
what I thought was interesting is when they talked about, or when they started to put this whole plan together, and Adelita was insisting that there needed to be like a third person to keep both parties honest, right?
Right.
So this is where the Mayans get to step up, right? So they're in the quote unquote boardroom now, because they're going to be the check and balance between the Galindo cartel and the rebels. And that's a really interesting place to be.
Yeah. It's a pretty powerful place to be.
Yeah, on that couch, just having Marcus Alvarez
On the left.
on the left, Miguel Galindo, Adelita, just sitting on that one couch.
Yeah.
I love that. You know, it's sick. That's a pretty
That's a pretty
powerful
ball-
couch.
It's a pretty baller move,
Yeah.
too. And then when he just says to Devante,
You across from
you
me.
sit across from me.
Yeah.
Oh, that was so Art of War right there. That was so Sung Soo. Yeah, it was great. For a moment, I thought they were going to kill Devante right there in the room, like they killed that guy a few episodes
yeah.
ago.
Oh yeah.
From the Asian cartel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, also because Bishop says, "Oh, we'll do our own cleaning up this time."
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it did lead the audience to maybe think,
That made me think. Oh,
Oh yeah, the cleanup. Yeah.
Yeah, that cleanup line had me thinking somebody was gonna die here. I
Yeah.
wasn't sure who exactly. Had my thoughts on Devante because that whole thing about well, this will lead into M's later. Let's stick on the Mayans themselves in the club. Where was I going?
Mayans
Mayans.
now being a part of the board, members of the boardroom.
But members of the boardroom. How is that going to work out now? Is Bishop going to be in charge of that? Or is it going to be Alvarez? Like, what is this whole conversation? Because the drive that Miguel was taking
Was with Marcus though, right?
was with Marcus,
Yeah.
but we never got into what he wanted to discuss with Marcus.
Right.
That was
I
it.
think because Alvarez is El Padrino,
Mm-hmm.
he oversees all of club matters, but Bishop is the president of the club.
Right on. So he'll be taking care of the day-to-day kind of thing.
Bishop,
Yeah.
I guess.
I wonder if that tunnel is going to come back into play too.
Of
Riz's
course,
tunnel.
everything means something on this show.
Yeah.
So,
And how are the Mayans going to keep the checks and balances? Is my question as well. How do they do that?
With now being part of the
With now being part of the board, how do they make sure that everybody's on the up and up?
That's a good question.
Yeah. How do they maintain trust?
I mean, at the end of the day, though, they do know both parties, right? They've been involved even before they came to the boardroom with both parties. So I think that
Well, some of the Mayans were involved with the Los Olvidados, not all of them.
right. But those same Mayans are still Mayans, so they're still going to be part of it. So they know both players, is
Yeah.
what I'm saying,
Yeah.
right? So that position hasn't changed for them.
No, of course
They're
not.
like the middle person. Now just all the players are playing together.
And they seem to like the deal too. I think Bishop and Alvarez were all smiles. Well, Alvarez doesn't smile that much.
Yeah, I think it'll be pretty lucrative for everyone.
Right on. It's gonna be. I'm so like hooked to see what's gonna happen next.
Oh, me too.
You know, every scene is a tension builder. You know, every scene has got this bit of tension that's built and built and built, and you're expecting by the end of the scene for somebody to drop. You know, and that was one of them for sure.
I think the twist is gonna be, or the unknown is this Lincoln Potter, since he has his hand in everything, right? So, him trying to have a deal with the Galindo family, and then him now flipping, and the deal is now with Adelita. I don't know how that's all gonna work out, but like Devante said, you can't really mess with the feds, but I guess you can.
Well, I'm not sure. I mean, Miguel and M seem to be a strong combo right now.
I love it.
I love it, and how they were
Power
talking about
couple.
setting up that shadow structure.
Yep.
You know, so I think if they build a strong enough shadow structure and just if they pull their heads together, they just might be able to outsmart Potter.
I think
at
they already
least.
have.
You know,
I think
that's the idea right there.
Playing chess on a different board.
Yeah. We've got
And speaking of good ideas, hey AfterBuzzers, our network produces after shows for nearly all of your favorite TV shows. From drama, reality TV, sci-fi, and more, there's no network that works harder to serve television fans. But we need your help. We're asking that you please subscribe to one or more of our YouTube channels. By subscribing to our channel, YouTube will suggest content that's tailor-made for you, and you'll help AfterBuzz continue to grow. And if you're worried about pesky notifications, don't be. They're optional. So hit that subscribe button now for this channel and check out our other AfterBuzz YouTube channels as well. Let us know you did so in the comments, and we'll thank you on air. For now, thanks for being the best fans and for helping us be the ESPN of TV talk.
great read, Linda. Thank you.
Why, thank you.
So back to the boardroom and everything that was leading up. There was a really nice moment as well. With all these back alley deals that are going on. So that was leading into an M being there at the meeting too, right? M is now taking a much higher position in the family.
Yeah.
Right? What'd you think of M being in the boardroom now?
I love it. She stepped all the way into this power couple,
She has.
gangster, drug wife.
Yeah, I mean, she's been stepping it up. We really saw it this episode, but she's been stepping up for a while now. Because even what happened at the church, that was essentially her idea. That was her coming up with a plan of attack to frame Los Olvidados for that.
Right.
What happened to the nun.
Right.
You know, so she's a smart woman, and I like to see Emily finally start like stepping up and
having a power position, having a say. You know, she has now become a trusted counselor to Miguel.
Right.
I love that relationship has finally developed into something like that. It's more of a partnership now.
Yeah.
You know, and even her going to Easy and saying, "Hey, do not mess with my family. If anything you're going to do is going to hurt my family, don't make me choose."
Right.
yeah, that was pretty badass.
Who do you think she'd choose?
She's not choosing easy. Although I think in that moment she's like, I'm not going to choose you, but I wonder if she had to choose what she would do. Because when she walked over, I almost thought that she was going to kiss him instead of threaten him. They have that chemistry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They do have that chemistry. I agree.
That old love, yeah.
Yeah.
I think she'll go with Galindo. I mean, that's the father of her child, and
True.
and I'm in the cartel, so so I'm not gonna say otherwise.
I think it makes more sense for her to stay with Galindo as well, considering the way that she has rise through the ranks as a cartel wife and a cartel boss right now. I mean, she could be, you know, La Reina from here on in.
Yeah,
We don't know.
She's a strong woman. She's not meek by any means, you know.
Yeah.
No, and she's intelligent too. I mean, she's the one that's sifting through all the papers that the DOJ has dumped on them in the first place.
Yeah.
Right. She's the one that apparently puts together the prospectus that
she's
is
an
being
attorney,
given
right?
out. Right. That's right. And
Yeah.
she even has the time to put Adelitas in Spanish so that it might be quicker for her. I mean, she's considerate. She's intelligent. She's pragmatic. M for Mother of the Year. I don't know. for Cartel Wife Mother of the Year.
Cartel wife of the year.
Yes.
Good. I like it.
And we saw some other relationships being built in there as well, and some trust being built between Miguel and Adelita, right? That whole and before even that happened, I wanted to get into a little bit more of Nestor and Miguel's relationship, because I noticed something there when you guys all pulled up into the desert in the SUVs. You called him Mikey.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you give us a little bit more background into the history of Nestor and Miguel and that relationship?
So I know Miguel from my youth. Nestor knows Miguel from his youth, and so Miguel is like a brother to me, you know. So he's not just my boss, you know. He's Mikey.
All right.
You know, and there's been a couple other scenes where I've also referred to him as Mikey and not Miguel. And it's to also show the audience that brotherhood, you know, just like the MC has it in the cartel, we also have that sense of unity, you know.
That's cool. I like that. I like that a lot. Is there any We'll get to that in predictions. I can't ask that right now. I don't know how much you're going to tell me either.
Do you think that we're gonna, as viewers and fans, that we're gonna see more of that relationship, like the inside or the history and flashbacks or anything like that?
That's a great question. I'll say yeah, because
That's
I'm not
awesome.
giving anything away with saying yeah. But,
Awesome.
But yeah, I'll say yes. You know, you'll get to learn more about Nestor's and Mikey's relationship.
That's great. That's right. In the season finale? Maybe? Or
You're
what-
pushing it now.
Don't push your luck.
What are we talking
Right.
about here? Was Nestor around? When Miguel and M got together then? Because I want to know more about that history too. How did these two crazy kids get together in the first place?
Yeah, I can't answer that.
You can't answer that either. Dang it.
He tried.
But that's a great question though.
We tried.
So Miguel is now developing trust with Adelita. He's discovered some things about Devante that pushed him a little bit in that direction and made it very easy for him to put Devante on the other side of the table, right? Across from him, and to then be able to drive with him and show him the medical records of his brother. What do we think about that?
I mean, I think it was a power move. It was definitely a power move. I think that when Emily said, trust your gut, he really went with that and trusted his gut and realized that this three-way triangle is really the best move for his cartel, right? Because now, like they said, you have 2,000 extra soldiers that are going to be fighting the devil, quote unquote.
Right.
And then you also have the Mayans. So it's like you're protected on all fronts. So why not go that direction, and why not sacrifice the one guy that maybe is a little too old school for you and is not, thinking, like he said, of the bigger picture.
Yeah, but he's also the old guy that kind of betrayed you and kept you from going after your son by lying to you about the death of your own brother.
Yeah.
You know, that was just effed up, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Because he made his mother lie to him. I think there's going to be a reckoning there too. I'm sure. Wouldn't you think so?
Yeah, and that's why he said it. He's like, I made your mother lie to you. But I don't think that anything is said or done on the show without consequences.
Yeah, I think he just wanted to clear his conscience before he went. He knew where he was headed. So you have to kind of let him know, like, hey, your mom lied because I asked her to, not because she wanted to.
Right. But still, there's going to have to be some sort of conversation there. And if does M know the truth now? And if M knows the truth, wouldn't she want to have a little conversation with the mother as well? We don't know where that's going to go. That could be an interesting scene. I don't
Or
know.
is Miguel keeping that from him?
No, because then there's more lies on top of lies.
Shit.
Gosh. The show, I'm telling you, I'm having like palpitations. It's like, why doesn't everybody just tell the truth to each other already? Why can't we all just get along?
Because that is not how life works.
Yeah.
Let's just
not
all
how
lie
life
to
works.
each other. Oh, it's so heartbreaking. It's so heartbreaking. So we find out that not only did Devante lie to Miguel about his brother Cristobal being kidnapped by a rival cartel, but also in order to get him to attack Los Olvidados, which is something that he didn't have to do, apparently, he also was the leader of the death squad that killed Luisa/Adelita's parents.
Yep.
Yeah.
So justice is served.
Justice was served.
Justice was served, which brings me to maybe our special segment.
Let's do it.
All right, most gruesome death.
Right. Very spooky.
Oh yeah, there's a really nice song that was put in the background to this death too. I Say a Little Prayer with Diana Gameros. Here it is. Well, first it's Rodrigo the bishop being strangled with a boy putting some porno on his
Child pornography.
Child pornography on his computer, and there's Dante's head, chopped off into little pieces, and Adelita walking away with the machete. She's walking away like a boss too.
Yeah, she is.
She's totally walking away, and you're getting the door for her.
We're friends now.
You're friends now. Like,
We're good.
you were going to kill her, and now you're friends now.
She's my dog.
But you know what I think is interesting, and I thought when I watched that,
Mm-hmm.
she gave you the machete, and it's up to you. Like, that's trust right
Yeah.
there, because those are her fingerprints on there, and that's a dead dude, and you
That's
know, Nestor
trust.
just has it. That could be leverage, perhaps in the future. Who knows? Because you never know
Yeah,
with this show.
It was trust.
How do you see that relationship developing? The relationship between Nesta and Adelita?
Or with
Los
Los Oveados
Oveados?
and Galindo. I think it'll be cooperative, you know, on everybody's end, as it should be, because
So long as everybody does their part, and so long as the MC stays on as a good trustee,
yeah,
everybody will mind their P's and Q's.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's not going to be that easy, I'm
it's
telling you.
not going to be that
at all.
easy. There's going to be a couple bumps in
There's
the
going
road.
to be a couple of bumps, for
New
sure.
relationships, figuring it all
Yeah.
out,
Absolutely.
working out the kinks.
Yeah, and then, like I said earlier, you throw in this Potter character, and it's just a mess.
Yeah.
Because he's super sneaky, and his hands are in everything.
He's he's like a little puppet master, a little evil little puppet master.
And he's had so much time to absorb all of this, right? And he almost has a grudge, because when he talked about how 8 years ago he was this close, and then it fell from underneath him, right? And
Right.
now he wants to know why it fell and why it happened. So I think he has a chip on his shoulder and a grudge that he's trying to.
Yeah,
Phil.
this isn't just business. This
No,
is
it's not.
personal.
It's
This is
personal.
definitely
Yeah.
personal, also for Potter, for
Let's
sure.
just kill him. I mean, if you're gonna kill the DEA, let's just do that.
Well, the thing with killing Potter, though, then we lose a really great antagonist. You know.
Yeah,
Then we could lose a really great villain if we
That's
kill
true.
him off, and
That's true, but
not for
still.
nothing. But the other guys at the DAA aren't all that sharp. I'm gonna say.
Fair enough.
Right? I mean, the guy couldn't even remember the code to the door the other day. I want to take this into a little news real quick, and
Okay.
so that we can then talk about Gino a little bit more. So this is from an Entertainment Weekly, October 23rd, an interview that they did with Elgin James. And he talks about a lot of stuff there, but one of the quotes is they ask him, there's just 2 more weeks until the finale. Are you building to a huge climax? Well, duh. Yeah, is what I say. What Elgin says is, yes, there will be a lot of stuff that's going to be explained. Finally, like, this isn't all for naught. We have a lot of plates spinning, and they will all come crashing down to get some answers. So,
That's what I've been saying.
Yeah.
They've been laying the foundation, and now it's just all starting to come together.
So it's a really great interview. Go ahead and take a look at it. Entertainment Weekly, October 23rd issue. And then something else that I just thought was really cute. I was poking around on the Twitterverse, and Sarah Bulger tweeted this little video. That's her and Danny Pino doing a little salsa dancing at 4 a.m. on set.
That's
Isn't
awesome.
that great? I like to imagine that's Miguel and M's relationship in
Yeah.
total right there.
Well, I was talking to Gino earlier, and we can ask him again, but do you really feel like you've developed a family on set?
100%, without a doubt. Like, I hang out with a lot of those guys all the time. I jumped out of a plane kind of recently with some of them, with Antonio,
Oh wow!
Michael, and Emilio. We jumped with the Golden Knights. So I mean, that right there, that's a pretty strong bond to go jump out of a plane with some dudes.
Is that your first time doing that?
Yeah. It was a great time, and yeah, like it's one of the first times I've experienced it once before, but this time with Mayans, I really do feel that sense of like camaraderie that you see on screen. Off screen, we have that as well. Even though I play on the opposite end of them, but like we all still hang out, and it really does feel like a family with the cast and the crew.
That makes for great chemistry on set. Though.
Yeah.
That makes for really great chemistry on set. So it's cool, man.
It's
Who's your
amazing.
favorite character besides Nestor?
Adelita,
Adelita?
she's a badass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What else do you like about her?
I just like how she's just always so calm, you know, and she outsmarts Nestor and the cartel a lot. You know, I think it was about twice when I've shown up And there was no one there. I was like, again.
That's right.
So I do like that Los Olvidados are pretty smart. And I do I guess from the Mayans, I like Bishop a lot.
Yeah, Mike Irby.
Yeah, he's great. You know, he's like a no bullshit dude. You know, and as of now, he's the one with like no secrets or anything, just pretty, you know, straight shooter guy.
Yeah.
So I like his character a lot.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what happens with his character later on, because you can tell that there's been a little relationship between him and the mayor of San Pedro.
Yeah,
there was
yeah.
there were scenes that alluded to that.
Yeah.
So I'm sure his storyline is just gonna, you know, go in really cool directions from there.
I'm excited to see a lot of the storylines develop. Coco's storyline was great.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh wow. Wow. What was what's been your favorite scene to work on so far?
For me to work on?
Yeah, for you to work on.
I enjoyed the recruitment scene when I went into Bala's house and I had all the kids there.
Oh yeah.
That was really fun. You know, kicking down the door, coming in.
Yeah, that was very Pulp Fiction of you for a second.
Yeah, cool. I like that.
That was very like, it's the one that says badass mother. I was waiting for you to say that. Yeah.
That's cool. I wasn't going for that, but that's the way it translated. That's a great compliment. Thank
That
you.
was a great scene. I like that scene a lot.
Yeah, that was fun. And then bringing him over, and then Miguel doing the whole ceremony, cutting his hand, and
Right.
me reminding him to get that. blood.
Yeah,
Nice.
that was a funny line.
Yeah, that was fun. That was a lot of fun.
All right, on.
I was going to ask you, so you've wrapped for this season. What are you working on in between?
So over the summer, I was shooting Mayans. I was going back to New York to do season 2 of The Deuce, and I was also working on this show for Amazon that'll be out next year called Too Old to Die Young, which was all directed by Nick Refn, who did Drive, who did Bronson, who did Only God Forgives. So real cool director, and that'll be my next project that's out.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm excited for
Awesome.
that.
You're originally from New York, right?
Yeah, I was born in Queens. In '96, there was this blizzard, Blizzard '96, and that's when my parents were
remember
like,
that
"All right,
blizzard."
we're out of here." I grew up in Miami after that
Oh, of course.
because of the blizzard. The sixth borough, you know, it
Yeah.
only makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're from New York as well.
yeah,
right?
from Queens.
Yeah, same Queens.
Yeah, well, right on. Still a melting pot of New York, but it's way too cold.
You know,
New
it's-
York?
Yeah, way too cold. That's why
well,
I've
you're
been
from Canada. That's,
Yeah,
I think she
mean-
takes the cake on that one.
probably.
Yeah.
Well, that's why we're all here in Los Angeles right
Right,
now.
right,
I'm
right.
listening.
I will say I used to hate cold winters, but recently I found myself saying it like I miss the cold.
Yeah, I just missed the changing of the color of the leaves and everything in the fall. And you know, I always go home for Christmas, so we'll get some winter time there.
Oh, nice.
But enough about the weather. Let's talk
Yes.
about you.
Yes.
Okay. So, when did you start acting?
In my like early 20s, I guess, or mid 20s, I used to be in a band, and so I did that for a long time, for about 10 years. And I discovered acting through that. In between touring, I just wanted to, stay. I thought it was just to stay busy. Now that I'm older, I've realized that it wasn't to stay busy. It wasn't a form of just like occupying my time. It was just like another medium of storytelling. And I discovered acting while I was living in Miami. I took a couple classes, a lot of workshops with this wonderful casting director, Lori Weinman, who casted me in Bloodline for Netflix.
Cool.
And
Great show, by the way.
thank you. That was a great time. And after that, that's kind of when things just started really happening for me. I moved back to New York, did the Deuce out there, and so I've been doing it for about 8 years now, I'd say.
Right on. Right on. What attracts you most to it?
I like the pace of it. Everything moves so fast, and
Yeah.
I think that's just the way my heart naturally beats. I just like to keep things flowing. And I also love the collaborative process, just working with other actors or directors, and all that. It's cool.
It is about the collaborative, the
Yeah.
process of the whole thing. Well, you're a musician, of course. That is all collaboration, right?
Yeah, it's fun, and just what another actor could bring out of you, and vice versa. It's cool.
That creative process. So you're playing a great role here, but what would your ideal role be? If someone said you could play anything, you would play.
That's tough. I think my mom is tired of seeing me always play villains, so so I'll probably go with some sort of form of law enforcement, SWAT team. We're still tough guy, that type of thing. But I also love, just like the whole Marvel universe, like all those Netflix shows are great. I love those. The Punisher, I love that one a lot. Daredevil's great. So just.
I could see you playing a superhero.
A superhero?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's a huge compliment.
Yeah. Did you see it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I dig it. I'm into that.
That'd be fun.
In any what? So you've done The Deuce. You've got this other film coming out. Do you have any favorite characters that you have played?
Yeah. He was in the last OG too. He's in the last OG.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was a fun one. We shot that last summer, season 1. And I played Gustavo in that, and that was a funny character. He's just like a weirdo.
Okay.
Says he tries to give advice, to Tracy Morgan's character. I'm one of the guys in the halfway house, and he's the guy who gives advice who you don't want the advice from. You're like, all right, just stop talking. He's that guy. But a favorite character, I think because Bloodline's such a special show to me, that's definitely been one of my favorites. I don't know. I gotta say I've been very fortunate because even my character on The Deuce, Carlos, those writers are great, and I really like what they did with my character this season. They gave me this cool arc where he becomes an alcoholic, so he's just kind of like he's just not all there, does stupid things, and. Yeah, I gotta say I've been very lucky, honestly, with the characters I got to play. So they all kind of tie. I hate saying that. I don't like ties really, but
they're all like your children, really. Let's just put it that way.
And Nestor's fun, just the badass.
What do you like about Nestor?
I like his loyalty, and like that brotherhood I have with Miguel Galindo. It's like I love that, and that protective nature, like willing to do anything for the family, for the cartel.
And what did you do to prepare for this character? Because I know we talked a little earlier that this wasn't actually not the role that you were going to originally go for, right?
Yeah. I read for a different role. And I read for Louis, who was in episode 2. He's played by Noel G, the guy who's being chased in the car flips.
I know Noel.
Yeah. And he was great at that. He killed that. And Kurt Sutter said that he saw something evil in my eyes. So it works better for Nestor. Yeah. So I was really excited to get the call that I booked Nestor. But to prepare for it, I read this book by Martin Corona called Confessions of a Cartel Hitman. And it's great. It's the story of this dude from Oceanside in San Diego. And he was a real cartel hitman. He was sicario. So I used a lot of that for reference, and just watched a lot of like Drug Inc. and things like that. Narcos dramas, and documentaries. Yeah.
Right.
Not Narcos the series. I do love the series, but just like documentary.
Right. Yeah. Well, you're drawing from reality.
Yeah.
As opposed to what other people have already done.
Right.
That's a smart way to do it, of course. Well, we're coming towards the end of the show, but let's talk about some predictions, shall we?
Let's do it.
All right.
Go.
And now, your
I don't know. Let's see.
Predictions.
Are we going to do overall predictions or predictions for the last episode?
Say overall predictions.
Okay.
Why not?
Yeah, there's only one left.
Yeah. All right, go ahead.
No.
Go ahead, Gino. What do you predict?
Huh?
What do you predict
What do you predict is going to happen, Gino?
Someone's going to get bit by a spider, and they're going to have superpowers.
And fly away. Brief predictions. I think that Emily's going to step up 150%. We've already seen it, but I also think that she might be the tipping point to whatever's happening next for this next episode.
I think there's going to be a all-out war between. Well, now that Easy is set on this path to go and kill Jimenez, I think he's actually going to find a way to set him free.
Yeah.
I think he's going to find a way to fake his death. That's my prediction.
Yeah, he's not going to
fake Jimenez's death.
Yeah, he's not gonna kill his cousin.
He's not going to kill his cousin, and he's not a killer like that. I mean, the only person that he's killed was the cop, and that was by accident all those years ago.
Yep.
You know, so yeah, I think I think he's going to go down the path of trying to kill Jimenez, and then somewhere along the way, he's going to hear Felipe's voice in his head, and he's not going to do it, and you know, the gun is going to be shot up into the air, and he's going to say, "Run."
Yeah, I just think he's gonna have a better plan because he is also a big picture thinker as well. So I think, so I think that he's gonna be a few steps ahead of this guy.
Oh, cool. All right, well, that's episode 9. Gino, thanks for coming in today. Where can people find you?
At Gino Vento on Twitter and Instagram, GinoVento.
Linda?
Guys, Linda and Twee. I am on social media as Linda is so girly. Send me some feedback. Send me your predictions and any juice and or news and gossip you have.
Hey, what's going on? I am Jorge Payo. You can find me at the El Jorge. That's TheelJorge on all of my social media and also on the Supergirl panel on Sundays.
Awesome.
Cool. Thanks, AfterBuzzers.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.